I know this channel is primarily about business strategy, what to do, the best ways to make more money, etc. But today I feel like going off the script and doing something a bit more raw for you guys, as a lot of changes have been happening in my life recently. I'm not a father. It's been 3 weeks that I have a little one I can call my own. And God has blessed me with this privilege of pressure that I now have on my shoulders. And I want to tell you guys a story about why I named my son Atlas. And to some of you watching this, you may be like, okay, but what the fuck is that going to do for our business? It's going to be a story about identity. It's going to be a story about how I became the man that I am today, that is making $60K a month. Going from somebody that was always struggling with money, that was always struggling with drugs, that was always struggling with females, always struggling with partying, always struggling with validation. As I come from a bodybuilding / partying background, as I've had other businesses in the past that have worked and then that have fucking failed miserably, as I ended up in $50,000 in debt, maxing out my credit cards, getting called by debt collectors every 5 minutes. Today, I'm still the same man, just in very, very different circumstances. And what I want you guys to understand watching this, if you're in a place where you want to scale your business, if you're in a place where you want to make more money, if you're in a place where you want to have more clients, it all starts with you, man. It all starts with you, because if you try to scale a business off of foundations of an identity that is rocky, that is operating from chaos, that is operating from scarcity, that is operating from fear, you won't get anywhere. It might work for a bit, but then it'll crumble all over again. And let me explain. This time last year, what was I doing? I was preparing for my third and fourth bodybuilding show, as I was doing a back-to-back prep. During this prep, I was still making good money, by any means. I was 23 years old, was making between 10 and 15 grand a month, and I was barely working. I was playing Xbox all fucking day. Literally, if you guys look at my fucking playtime, my playing hours, that was all I was doing. I would wake up, do my cardio, eat my meal, play some Xbox, wait for my next meal, eat it, fucking play some more Xbox, eat my pre-workout meal, go to the gym, come home, play some Xbox. I was disconnected from my family, I was disconnected from my wife, and I was disconnected from everyone around me, because I thought that was how you were supposed to bodybuild. I thought you needed to be in isolation. I thought you needed to be, just cut yourself off from everyone around you and like kind of disregard and forget about them and be fully selfish. Then I realized that I was pushing away and I was running away. Because not only, guys, I forgot a fucking major detail there. Because not only I was running away through video games, I was also running away through fucking weed. I was smoking 6 times a fucking day. And you may be asking yourselves, how is it possible for someone to play fucking Xbox all day, to smoke weed all day and still make 10, 15K months? The answer is RevShare. That's my secret. I have RevShare coming in every month from the businesses that I have helped other people build, that I have them under contract. And all I need to do is just show up on a few meetings every week to make sure these businesses keep running, and I get my RevShare from it. So for me, that put me in a very comfortable position. But you combine that with the fact that I was in a bodybuilding prep, so I had no energy to do anything else, or that's the lie I was telling myself. You combine that with the fact that I was doing drugs all the time, trying to escape my own failures, trying to escape my circumstances that I put myself in, all that debt, all that failure, all those businesses that didn't work out. It created an operating system within me that made me think I was allowed to have 1 foot in, 1 foot out. That made me think I could half-ass things. That made me think that I could just fucking coast by and life was always gonna be like this. But the truth is, guys, if you want something in this fucking world, you need to work your ass for it. You need to work your ass off for it. Because if you fucking take it for granted like I did, God's gonna take it away from you. What happened as a consequence during that bodybuilding prep? I finished last on my first show. And then I finished third on my second show. Even though all I had to do was literally fucking win. That's all I needed to do, guys. All I needed to fucking do. But I didn't. Why? Because I was half-assing other areas of my life. And in my business, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. I was still paying off old debts. And I was still smoking fucking weed every day, which caused me to restart at zero every night. After the day was done, smoke some weed, forget about my pain, forget about my problems, wake up the next morning, back at square one. Nothing changed, nothing new, just the same old fucking routine. And I remember my girlfriend asking me, babe, are we ever gonna like move from here? Are we ever gonna like, you know, have a different life? And I told her, but babe, we're living the dream. I'm smoking weed all day, I'm playing video games all day, we're making money, and I'm training. What else is there to do? Not realizing that it was fucking her calling me to step the fuck up. And that was the first sign that I had, right? That God put me in my way. Not knowing what was gonna come. And then that summer after, I decided to take a break from bodybuilding. I decided to go all in on my online coaching. Fucking scaled that shit to 40K a month. And then 50K a month. And that's when I started business coaching. I didn't actively want to do it. People were DMing me. They're like, hey Gabe, we see what you're doing for other coaches. We see what you're doing for your own coaching. Could you help me too? And that's when I pivoted and focused on the business coaching that I'm doing today. I'm still coaching people to do bodybuilding shows because it's my passion. And I'm still bodybuilding today because that's my passion as well, right? But back to the original point of the video. You fast forward a few months later, and guess what happens? We had suspicions that she was pregnant. But it wasn't until I was living in Mexico last year, that we took the pregnancy test. It came back positive. We got another one, it came back positive again. She was crying. And all I could do, guys, I don't know how to describe the emotion I was feeling. I was scared, man. Because a part of me knew that I needed to give up the weed. A part of me knew that I needed to give up my old ways. A part of me knew that I needed to stop fucking running away from the man that I meant to be in order to step up. Because 9 months from that point, another human is gonna look at me, is gonna depend on me, is gonna go to me for everything. And his mother too, right? But for his basic survival needs. And as soon as I got news that she was pregnant, an instinct kicked in. I needed to name him Atlas. Why? Because Atlas is the man that carries the world on his shoulders. Because that name reminds me of how I need to fucking show up every day of my life. I was still smoking weed at the time, but I felt guilty every time I lit up a fucking joint. I felt shame, deep shame. And in those months, September, October, after my big 40K, 50K months, September, October, November, December, those were my lowest revenue months. I dipped back to fucking 10, 15K a month. Sometimes 20, if I was lucky. Why? Because I was still fucking running away. And it wasn't until December I said, fuck it. I'm gonna stop running away. I'm gonna take the pressure on my shoulders. I'm gonna be the man that Atlas needs me to be. I'm gonna be worthy of that fucking name. And moving on, I'm gonna make the Vincent name something worth fucking carrying in this world. Because you don't see fathers anymore that value their last name. You don't see men that are proud to say their fucking last name anymore. And I find that fucking sad. Because I know how hard my father worked. And he plays a big, big part in my success. Because I'm not saying that I came from nothing. Far from that. I always had whatever I needed and whatever I wanted. I'm very blessed. I had a very, very blessed upbringing. But that put the pressure even more on me to provide even better for the people that care about me. And now that he's here, it's a constant fucking reminder of exactly how I need to keep showing up. And I don't know what you're gonna get from watching this video, but I felt like I just needed to share it with you guys. More of this personal part of me. Because that's just how I operate and that's just how I think. I don't do things randomly anymore. I do things very intentionally. And that's why my income has fucking quadrupled in 4 months. That's why. We fucking cash collected 20K USD last week. First week of May. You think that's fucking random? Or you think there's something fucking intentional behind it? I know there's something fucking intentional behind it. I know what I do on a daily basis now. I track everything. Everything. And what does that look like? Every fucking dollar that comes in, I know where it's coming from. Every fucking dollar that goes out, I know exactly where it's going. Every fucking metric on my social media, tracked. Every fucking metric that dictates how well or how well I fulfill for my clients or what I can improve in my client fulfillment, tracked. All my fucking ads, tracked. Why? Because when you understand your numbers, that's when you start compounding. Because then you can see what variables are inconsistent, right? And then you improve those variables one thing at a time. Starting with the most inconsistent. Make it fucking consistent within 30 days. And then move on to the next variable. That is the second most inconsistent. You have another 30 days to make that fucking consistent. Because there's no secret, okay? Sometimes in a man's life, or many times in a man's life actually, you're gonna be faced with moments where you realize that enough is enough, man. Enough is enough. For me, that took a kid. That took a son. And I'm very grateful, because now every time I see his face, it just reminds me of who I need to be. And that nothing makes me happier. Because this is what I'm meant to fucking do. I'm meant to create content like this. I'm meant to help people achieve what they want to achieve financially and the impact that they want to have with their businesses. And I'm meant to be present for him and for my wife and for my brother and for my mother and for my father and everyone around me. That is what I'm meant to do. But sometimes you run away from it, because it's scary, right? It's fucking scary. Especially as a young man. I know a lot of young men watch my YouTube channel. You know you're meant for this. But instead, you smoke weed. You play games. You try and fuck girls. Instead of just being fucking useful. Creating something that will outlast you and that your children can fucking benefit from. That's the issue that I see. And why can I see it? Is because I was the issue. No fucking CTA today, guys, because this is a raw talk. But I hope you got what you needed from this if you're listening up to now. And